and Jay.
We're all looking at you because you tend to cuss, or you tend to share the video with the volume up. So, cut the media
Those
volume.
are lies that you guys are telling right now.
Yes.
Those are truths, sir. Truths. Truths. Truths.
Yep. All right, so we're live. How you guys doing today? Y'all ready for the show?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Let's
In
do
the
it.
year right, baby.
All right. Did you say we're gonna start the year off right?
I said end the year off right.
Oh, okay. End the year off. Okay.
That's what they do on the other podcast. They say stuff backwards. It's like the Bizarro world.
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't know nothing about the Bizarro world. He don't know nothing about that.
All right, so it's time for a holiday edition of the Barbershop 918. Let's go. And welcome into the Barbershop 918. You up in here with your man, Big Dru.
Big Dru!
J Rock.
Boom!
Ouch.
And the one and only Raw Dawg. We got a jam-packed show for you today.
Pack with jam, baby.
All right, you got it right. And a little bit of jelly. We're going to give you a whole lot of lists today. We got our world-class word on the street coming your way. No, we wait. The word on the street is going to be interesting. We're going to do a rundown of some of the best things from the word on the street that has gone down this year, including our top albums, our top movies, and our top television shows. So make sure you keep it locked right here for the word on the street and share. Tell a friend. If you're watching this, even if you're watching it after we already did it, go ahead, tag somebody else in this and let them know so they can think of what's their top few things. So make sure you share this video right away. Also, outside of Word on the Streets, we're going to talk a little bit of sports. We're going to talk about our top sports moments in today's show. We're also going to get into a hood topic that is tied in with the NBA. So we're going to do a little bit of NBA conversation. And, of course, we're going to do our predictions for bowl season, really the main bowl game as far as college football. And me and Jay not that excited, but we will talk pro football this week. J-Rock has a little bit of something special for college for Dallas Cowboy fans that he is going to be he's going to be putting Cowboy fans straight. So that'll be an exciting time.
I can't wait.
Somebody's acting brand new because his team finally has success, and he need to act like he been there. So Raw Dawg is
exactly.
Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way now.
he acting like it's 1985 all over again.
These ain't the 85 Bears.
There he is. What's up, bro?
So we got a lot coming your way. Matter of fact, let's go and get it started right now with the world-class word on the street.
Word on the street. It's the sweet one.
That boy good.
My heart is so full right now.
Conduit, sir.
Yes, you are.
Conduit.
That's in my top of 2018. When he brought in the word on the street, he just that's it.
Can't top those moments.
He didn't need to do nothing else for me this year. I'm grateful for that alone. All right, J Rock. Let's get it started with music news and the music, however you want to put this. Go ahead, J Rock. Give them what you got.
All right. We're going to do a little different. You know, this is the end of the year, end of 2018. And we're just going to discuss what our favorite albums were for 2018. I mean, I know we're three different men and we listen to three different kinds of music. So I'll start first and I'll give my favorite albums from this year. You know, I go back to February, the TDE sponsored Black Panther soundtrack. Kind of like just went with the movie, you know, and it was #1 for a lot of weeks. Then you throw in, I'll say her, you know, someone who's been nominated for some Grammys this year. She released 2 EPs. I Used to Know Her, Part 1, the prequel, and Part 2. Also throw in Travis Scott. I love his album, Astroworld. It just has like maybe it's the production. It has and Mike Dean being a part of it. It has like an old feel to like Kanye West, My Dark Twisted Fantasy. You know, that album that came out in 2010. It has like a feel to that, like as far as with the production on that. Then also we have Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap. He's nominated for the rap album this year on the Grammys. I feel like Nipsey Hussle. I mean, even Dru. Back when Dru listened to rap music, Nipsey Hussle was an underground rapper, and he hadn't put out any albums. So he finally put out his debut album in 2018, and it was everybody in the hood liked it. Also, J Rock from the TDE camp, his Redemption album. Also, and it's a West Coast feeling, and also Todd Shaw, 51-year-old, no kids, not married Todd Shaw. He put out an album called The Pimp Tape this year that was a great album. We had big artists come out with albums this year: Drake, Pusha T, The Carters, J. Cole, and to me, all those albums didn't meet like my expectations of albums. Like Drake's album was saved because of the singles that he put out. Jay-Z and Beyonce, they put out their album in the midst of their tour and it wasn't good. So that's
save any albums for us, man?
Oh, go ahead.
When album came out, dog. Like I totally disagree with you about Drake Scorpion. To me, it was one of his better albums. And I think the reason why is because in the middle of him making Scorpion, that's when the whole Pusha T thing came out. And I think the whole situation with Pusha T pushed him to be better lyrically. And we can't discount, that he owned the summer with that one cut.
In My Feelings, yeah.
Feelings. He owned the summer. He had to dance. He had social media on lock. So how can I guess we just differ on how you put together an album. I just felt like I heard the whole album and it all flows together. I love Drake Scorpion, man.
I've heard
too many songs.
Listen, I don't actually. Yeah, I would say I don't listen to music, but I am going off to that music. But I am going off what people said on social media, and the consensus was that it's not a cohesive album. It's just a bunch of singles put together. And so you're saying it is a project that's well put together.
To me, it wasn't as mournful and whining at like most of Drake's albums. Come on, some of Drake's albums in the past have been just a bunch of whining, man, and it's basically sad affairs. This one sounded like he was happy to be alive. You know what I mean? That's why I enjoyed it. But I also liked K.O.D. from J. Cole.
King of Diamonds. Okay.
I thought that was a great album. You can't not talk about albums of the year for 2008 and not mention Cardi B. It's
Invasion of Privacy, yeah.
It's impossible. I even like, of course, the Black Panther soundtrack. You was right. It's off the chain. Everything Is Love with the Carters. But I like Ray Sherman's album. How you say it? Ray
Sherman.
Yeah, I
like the eardrum guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I love their album, man. I mean, and I don't. Then I'm not gonna be bumping them in the car, but I heard a lot of the tracks that Mike Will made it, and just bumping, man. Them young cats is doing it, especially the one that kind of does the sing-songy voice. Really like him, man. He's gonna do a solo album before you know it, if he hadn't already done one. There was a lot to choose from. I mean, even if you into mayonnaise rap, beer bongs and Bentleys from Post Malone. You know, if you into rap, you know what I mean. I mean, you go on and on. There was a lot of good material out there. My biggest letdown really was Eminem.
Kamikaze, yeah.
That was a huge letdown. Could have been better. Also, the Carter Five, Lil Wayne. That was a letdown. Everybody was waiting for it, but I mean, come on, how good was it? A lot of it sound dated.
Yeah, it was an old album.
And I think Nicki Minaj's album wasn't that bad. I just think that she's just getting on people's nerves now. You know what I mean? I think she's at the point where she's one step away from being irrelevant. Drew, what you got, bro?
I don't actually have a whole lot. There was a nice album or a live version because it came out last year. PJ Morton's Gumbo Unplugged was one of my top albums this year, as well as Let the Trap Say Amen by Lecrae. That was a pretty decent one. It was all trap music, but it wasn't really that bad when you listen to the lyrics. My favorite album of the year, though, was R+R = Now. It's like this collective group of like jazz fusion artists. It's led by Robert Glasper, and it's a lot of like Terrence Martin. A lot of really great young jazz musicians are in it, and so it was one of the best albums of the year. I had tickets to go see them, and actually had a real bad, I had vertigo, so I had a real bad dizzy smell. I had to go to the hospital, but whenever they come back around to Portland, I definitely will see them again. But those were my top 3 albums. I spent a lot of my time in 2018 discovering music that had already come out. And so when I start going down the line thinking of things that I listened to this year, I looked through my Spotify list. I was listening to a lot of people whose album was out in 2016. I just didn't know about it, or 2017. So I'm pretty sure 2019 will be the same way. I'll just be catching up. That's kind of how I do with music now. So, but sound like you guys had a pretty good list. Had some pretty good lists going. It's time for us to go ahead and shift into our movies. Do you got the box office report, or do you want to just go straight into top movies of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I got the box office report, man. I mean, just real quick.
Because there's a lot of good stuff out and coming out. So go ahead. What you got, man?
Quick, at number 5, we got Mortal Engines, which is new. At number 4, we got Ralph Breaks the Internet, which was the former number 1. At number 3, we got The Grinch, which is still bringing in money. At number 2, we got Clint Eastwood with The Mule, brought in 17.5. And at number 1, which is a movie I think I'm going to check out, when I'm on vacation next week, is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, brought in 35 mil.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing that.
And Creed 2 is down to number 6, so it's still in the top 10. And Green Book actually is at number 7, up from number 10 last week. So Green Book is actually going up.
Got nominated for a lot of awards.
Yeah. So as much as as once the awards talk starts to happen, that's when these kind of movies tend to go up in the box office because people are curious. So now there's a movie called If Beale Street Could Talk that I want to check out. It's not in a large amount of theaters, but it debuted at number 20. It made $224,000, and it's not in very many theaters, but it's supposed to be a really good black movie, man. It's got Regina King in it. It's got Brian, what's his name? The guy that plays the rapper in Atlanta.
Brian Tyree White.
Yeah, he's in it, and they said that he puts in an Oscar-winning performance, but it's supposed to be a really, really good movie. So do some research on If Beale Street Could Talk. Really good black film. Really low budget, but really, really good. Now, as far as what's coming out this week, hey man, Friday, Aquaman comes out.
That's it.
That's gonna kill the box office. That's killing the box office.
Yeah.
But same day, Bumblebee comes out. So that should be interesting. Bumblebee is a prequel to the Transformers. And yeah, so that looks interesting. And then Jennifer Lopez has a movie called Second Act that comes out too. If you're into those romantic comedies, man. So that's it right there, man. As far as the top movies of this year, I mean, what beats Black Panther, bro?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to beat Black Panther.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the top movie of the year, man. I think the second movie for me is in the hero genre. Maybe, in that the Age of Ultron was a really big movie. It just was overshadowed by. Definitely.
Even nobody liked the ending. That it was a huge movie.
Yeah,
definitely a huge, and everybody saw it.
Yeah, and I just totally messed up the name. I called it the wrong name, but it was the Avengers movie.
It was, yeah.
I said End of Ultron.
What was it called? It was Avengers.
Infinity War. Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War.
But yeah,
where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
Age of Ultron from?
I don't know. So yeah, it was probably one of the next best movies for me. I had on my list of top movies, I had Black Klansman as being one of the top movies.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Another one that was one of my top movies, and I think it's on Hulu now, and you could see it. It's crazy because I rented it, and then literally the next day it was on Hulu. Is that Sorry to Bother You? with
I haven't seen that yet. Is that good?
Yeah,
Darius from ATL Atlanta.
Yeah. It's not for everybody, but it's good though. I think you would appreciate it. So, yeah. So those were two of my favorite movies of the year. I've seen, I feel like there were a lot of good movies. Not a lot, but there were some pretty decent movies out this year. So I was kind of scrambling to think, but those were two of my favorites right there.
So Creed 2 don't come into your top 5?
I hadn't seen Creed 2 yet. So right now I'm sitting here with 5 movies that I need to see, but I got a lot of work in front of me, so it's like maybe I'll get a chance to go see them. But other than that, I just had to rent Venom last night.
I still haven't seen Venom. Still haven't seen it.
So
now I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed Halloween. And I know Halloween is for horror movie buffs, but I'm a big horror movie buff. I love horror movies, and Halloween was a well written, well done Halloween movie, man. I loved how they ended it. I loved the acting in it. It was actually a realistic Halloween movie. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed A Quiet Place.
Yeah, no, that was a great movie. Yeah, that was a good one.
I enjoyed A Quiet Place. I mean, I like Deadpool too, but then that's just my kind of humor. I haven't seen Incredibles 2, but I heard good things about it.
It was pretty good. The Hate You Give was good also.
Now, that's another movie I want to see. My daughter said she saw it and that she was in tears watching it.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, So, yeah, I mean, what you think, Jay? What you got?
I mean, I will say, I mean, being on the podcast with you guys for 3 years and, my best friends, talking about it in the chat, what Marvel movies, I think the only Marvel movie I had seen, I seen Deadpool, but I hadn't got into the Avengers series or anything. And it was like Black Panther kind of pulled me in, when I seen Black Panther, and then, it made me want to go see the Avengers movie. And so they kind of, I thought both movies were great. I mean, I think a lot of people, since I'm a rookie, but the veterans, they weren't fans of Avengers, but I liked it. It kind of like it left you to, okay, you're going to have to come see the next movie in 2019. So I like both of those movies. Obviously, like I said, The Hate to Give as well. That was a good movie. I like the Incredibles movie. Also, Creed 2, that was like a strong number 2 for me, because the movie, and being a part of the Rocky franchise and everything, I thought it was a great movie. I can't wait for it to come out on DVD so I can watch it again because it was a great movie, tearjerker. So those are the ones I like. I can't think of any the disappointment was Superfly. I watched that and it looked like a long BT uncut video.
You know what? And speaking of Superfly, I think the reason why I halfway liked it is because my expectations were so low.
Right.
I thought it was gonna really suck, but when I saw it, when I rented it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So it depends on what your expectations are on that one.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be horrible.
I liked A Wrinkle in Time. I thought that was a pretty good movie. Wow.
That the Oprah Winfrey one?
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Wife and niece liked it.
Yeah, I like it. Was kind of for girls, but yeah, it was a pretty good movie though. I would say I wasn't let down by a lot of movies. I think I just avoided every movie that I thought was gonna suck. So I found myself not being like I wasn't a big fan of Ant-Man and Wasp, but I felt like it was one of those you have to watch it in order to know what was gonna go on with Endgame. So actually, bloggers made me go see Ant-Man and Wasp, but other than that, it wasn't really that great. It was underwhelming.
So. Yeah, I didn't go to the movies as often this year as maybe I had in the past. There wasn't really any event, but
not that many Tyler Perry movies was out. That's why.
Hey, wait, because
I love the Tyler Perry movie, right?
He dropped the movie with
Acrimony?
Taraji. Yeah, Acrimony. That was horrible.
That movie made me so angry. I'm so glad I didn't go to the movies to see it.
I haven't watched it yet. Probably won't watch it.
And the Tiffany Haddish one as well.
Oh, what's the one he just put out with Tiffany?
Nope, Nobody's Fool.
Nobody's Fool. That one looks kind of half decent, but Acrimony was such a manipulative movie. He wrote the script to manipulate his audience because
he did.
You know, do you understand what I'm saying? Because he wrote.
Uh-huh.
So what you would feel one way, and then suddenly you would change your mind for another way, and then suddenly you would change your mind for another way, and then at the end you go, well, I don't even know how I feel. I don't know who I'm supposed to hate, the husband or the wife. And at the end, it was just a big mess. But that's Tyler Perry movies. He is not a good screenwriter. Period. He starts off with good ideas, and then they all come to pieces at the end. Let's not forget Why Did I Get Married Too? Remember how that one ended?
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Malik Yoba died.
He just dies. And then now she with The Rock, and then that was the end. It's like he just ran out of stuff to write about and said, okay, let me just smack this on the end. I'm like, come on, Tyler.
All right. So as far as television is concerned, a lot of different movies, a lot of different shows came on Netflix and Hulu and other things. I think for me, my top shows, I'm going to kind of go with a few network shows. I feel like Good Girls was my favorite show this year. It had me every single week wanting to watch it. Not a lot of people watched it. It's starring, I can't even think of her name in real life. Donna from Parks and Rec, Reno Wilson. Man, none of these people are famous. But it was on NBC. It was about these women who decide that they're going to rob a grocery store to get a little money. And then before you know it, they end up getting hooked up with a gang and running dope and doing all these other different things. And so it just gets out of control real quick. But it was real good. It was a mid-season replacement on NBC. And so I think season 2 is going to be another mid-season replacement, 9-episode deal. 911 that was on Fox was really good. I have yet to watch season 2, but season 1 was really great. And
season 2 is off the chain.
Yeah, I watched a little bit, and I was just like, okay, I need to dedicate. I'm just gonna binge it and catch up. Rail, it is up and down, but as far as new shows this year, it's probably one of my favorite new shows, just because there hadn't been a lot of new shows that are still around that I really like. So, what are some of the ones you guys have?
The Neighborhood with Cedric and and
Tashina Arda. Yeah,
it is surprisingly very funny.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like the first couple of episodes, seemed like Cedric was trying a little too hard, but as the episodes, started to come, it's like he kind of like fell into. He's almost like he almost has that Archie Bunker role that that Carol O'Connor had in All in the Family. But it's real funny, man, and Tashina Arnold's hilarious in it. And then you got these two sons that they're different than night and day, and the dynamic between him and his sons is really funny. Of course, Rail, I love Rail. Like you said, it is up and down. Jam Master Jay on Netflix.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best documentaries I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Loved it, man. Loved it.
I need to check that out.
It's because of who he is that I think that draws it. It's sort of like, it's unfortunate, but he that it has to be about his death. But I think even if he was still alive, he was always one of the more mysterious, kind of like you knew you liked him, but you didn't know why necessarily. Because of the three, he seemed like the one that you would gravitate more toward. But he didn't say as much because he was the DJ. And so to find out that, for me, watching the documentary, it was the build-up before the murder that was interesting for me, because it was like, it helped me be more invested into Jam Master Jay as a human. But then once they got into the murder, it was just like any other, and I hate to say it because it is his life, and I don't mean to like reduce it to this, but it was like a great murder. It is a murder mystery. Like, you really are sitting there thinking like, well, I think it's his boy. I think it's, you start reviewing the different theories and you walk away not really knowing. So I hope they really do pin down and find who murdered him, because
it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
Also love the Q documentary, Quincy Jones.
Yeah, that was a great one too. It's a little lengthy, but it's definitely worth watching the journey.
Absolutely. So Netflix really came through. Netflix, they give you such a gluttony of shows. You really have to pick between. You got to find that diamond in the rough with Netflix, man. Yeah. Network TV, like I said, there haven't been a whole lot of new shows. Jay, you got any that you got in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, You know, your Atlanta, Snowfall, those shows came back this year and they had a great season. Insecure, that was also a great season. Power, that was somewhat of a disappointment this year. You know, they were all over the place. And I think they have one season left. I'd say my favorite new show was on, is it WB with All American with Tay Diggs? You know, I like it because it's based on a true story.
CW.
CW. Oh, CW. I'm sorry, CW. I said the WB.
WB.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that show.
Black Lightning?
No.
The Last OG was a good show, too, this year.
Was it? I never saw it.
It's on Netflix now. The whole season's on Netflix, and TBS did it raw anyway. Like, it was cussing anyway, but Netflix definitely, there is no editing, so you'll like it. Also, we got to see Blackish the previous season before this one. The 17-18 season was probably the most mature season that they had because a lot of stuff that was going on as far as with Bo and Dre. You know, that was like stuff that you see in everyday light, the everyday light. So Blackish was a good season for 2018.
The greatest episode I ever seen of a show was the Atlanta episode when old boy went up to the house for the Michael Jackson lookalike dude. You remember that?
The Teddy episode.
That was the weirdest episode I had ever seen in my life. But I was transfixed on it, man. I was like, what is happening here?
So DeMarco made a good point. He said, here you go again using big words like gluttony. The way he spelled it out is funny. We have to deal with this every single time we talk. Every week.
That's a good word, though, man. But wasn't that a weird episode?
Yeah, man. I think the only thing I liked it because the Stevie Wonder song was playing.
Which one was that?
Sweet Little Girl. He's real R. Kelly like.
Real R. Kelly like. That's funny.
we had a good year in TV as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of good things to watch. A lot of good things to binge. As a matter of fact, the second season of I don't know, was that 2018? The second season of Luke Cage was pretty good.
Canceled, yeah.
Yeah, it was canceled, but it was still like, even the season before it was canceled was still pretty good. I didn't watch it till 2018, and so that was one of the better shows I had watched this year.
You know, Daredevil just got canceled.
Yeah, they canceled all of them except for I think all of them are canceled. Wasn't Punisher already canceled?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Can't forget the Shy. I forgot about the Shy.
The Shy. That's Dru's doppelganger on the Shy.
Hey, little man.
Boy, every time I see that dude, I bust out laughing. I was like, that's Dru right there. I said, honey, ain't that Dru? She was like, yeah, he looked like Dru.
All right, it's time for us to get into our favorite thing to talk about. It is pro football talk. And this week, shut up, man. So this week, my Kansas City Chiefs took a loss that it hurt, it stung. It was one of those losses where in my soul, like it was something, my soul was tickled the wrong way. Like it was like I knew something bad was gonna happen, and it just did. Phillip Rivers makes my soul itch, man. I don't like him. But
bile in your throat, bile, right?
He wears a bolo tie. I don't think any of us should like him. Like, there's nothing good comes from men who owns bolo ties. They also own teams like the Dallas Cowboys. Some people would call them.
Wow.
I don't know. But Jay, would you like to talk about your Dallas Cowboys? Because you said you was gonna put Dallas Cowboys teams fans on. Just you gonna let them know something today.
Yeah, what's up?
What you gonna let them know? Let them know, Jay.
All right, I will say this, and I'll be honest. You know, it's funny to me that at the Cowboys at 8-5, they garner more attention than the 11-2 New Orleans Saints, the 11-2 Kansas City Chiefs, the 11-3 Los Angeles Rams. And the reason why I say that is because the Cowboys at once they were 3-4. They had lost to Tennessee. They went on a 5-game winning streak. And so as they would say, the haters weren't saying anything, but then they get shut out by the Colts, and all of a sudden everybody start coming out the gutter. Look at y'all lost.
A goose egg though, bro. A goose egg.
That is
a goose egg.
That's a unique loss.
It was a goose egg, but enough about that. This is for the Cowboy fans. If you are a real Cowboy fan, you've seen this coming. The Cowboys, everybody's saying Super Bowl and everything, but this team is not made for the Super Bowl. It doesn't have the same offensive line from 2 years ago. And it was clear to see that was on display this week. The Indianapolis Colts exposed the Dallas Cowboys because Dak Prescott, and I made a statement on Facebook. I said I miss Tony Romo. And the reason why I say that is that Tony Romo, in the face of being sacked, the least he would do was spin out and run around and try to find an open receiver, even if it means getting an interception. Where Dak Prescott, he just doesn't do anything. He just sits there and gets sacked. He doesn't move around. And so in order for them to be successful, I think Zeke Elliott said it. He said, this is the loss that we needed to humble us. That was the loss they needed. So they need to fix that offensive line because the defense, you only can do so much when your offense isn't doing anything. The defense has been solid all season long, but the offensive line, they need a reality check in order for the Cowboys to even make a shot at making the playoffs, because right now they're in a win-and-you're-in situation. If they beat Tampa Bay on Sunday, then they make the playoffs. Otherwise, the Redskins, they play Redskins play forgot who they play, but I know the Eagles play the Texans. The Redskins play the Titans, so they need help from the Texans and the Titans if they can't take care of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home.
Yeah, I don't see them taking care of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, man. But
who do the Chiefs have this week, sir?
Hey, hey, man. Hey, we were talking about the Cowboys.
Hey, I'm trying to figure out for my fantasy purpose, who's the Chiefs have this week, man?
Raw Dog, you happy? Let's move. Because hate can't drive out hate. So go ahead, Raw Dog. Who you got, man? You excited about the Bears? Obviously.
I'm so psyched, dude. I ain't been this psyched in a long time because I was riding for the Bears when we were terrible, and we were just terrible a season ago. It's amazing, and I said this last week, man. What the few things you can add to a team that makes a difference: a coach with the right kind of attitude, a defensive powerhouse, and my man Mac, and a culture change to make this team just go out and defensively just dominate other teams, man. Even if these guys don't make it all the way, and that's saying a lot because the way they're playing right now, they keep this up, they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm saying it. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Okay. That's a bold statement, man.
I'm saying if the defense keeps playing like this, they're going to be unstoppable because we got a man Trubisky. He coming around, man. He does just enough to get us some points on the board. And with a defense like we have, that's really all we need.
Oh, yeah. He's an MVP candidate almost.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that the Bears are going to the Super Bowl?
I'm saying it out right now. Bears are going to the Super Bowl. Now, they're going to win it? I don't know. But they're going to go.
Can you write this down? Remember this, December 19th, 2018, the Bears are going to the Super Bowl?
Man, you can stamp it, paint it, whatever you want to do to make yourself happy, sir. But when you write that, also write that the Cowboys will not be in the Super Bowl.
You see how he does that? You see what he does? Because I'm doing the same thing that he did to me 3 years ago when I said Matt Castle was taking the Cowboys to the promised land. So in order to keep his statement relevant, he's going to try to say, and also put the Cowboys are not going to the Super Bowl.
Write it all down, sir. Write it all down.
Why would you bring up that was the you never mention again that you said that, man, because you lose a lot of credibility when you repeat that statement that Matt Castle was going to ever lead anybody to anywhere other than the garbage land, like the landfill.
You keep saying that.
Pastor Drew, I've been married since then, and I'm delivered. You know what I'm saying? My blood pressure is down now, so I'm not the angry Cowboy fan I was back in 2015.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought, Drew?
I don't have blinders anymore.
Yeah, you
Remember
did
how
have
angry
blonde.
he used to be?
Like a racehorse.
He was an angry Cowboy fan and an angry OU fan. Remember that one time he almost lost it on me because I told him that OSU was a better organization than the OU.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna swing on you.
Yep, I wanted to.
The Chiefs take on the Seattle Seahawks. So this is the closest that my Chiefs will be to me, and
at home or in Seattle.
In Seattle, that's why that was a statement I was making. Like this is the closest that they'll be to me, and I do not have the funds to go to the game, but it is what it is.
Hey man, we'll do a what's the name?
A GoFundMe to get me to drive up to Hey.
We do a GoFundMe.
My son has a Christmas little play that he's doing, but I will totally skip that. I would skip that at church to go. He would skip it. Like I was joking with him, and I was like, "You've been practicing your lines, but if you want to go to the Chiefs game," he was like, "I'll drop it." He was so
He's make it happen. Getting our blue and gold fundraiser.
I'm good on that, man. Like I've learned now. I learned not all money is good money. I learned at a very young age there were certain people on the block you can take money from. So,
don't take no money from Chauncey.
Have Chris calling me up.
What are the Chiefs' possibilities of winning this game, though?
I feel like it's about it should be on paper because Seattle's defense isn't that great. So I feel like and I feel like our front line is so good that we should have maybe 75% chance of winning this, but you just never know because Seattle is still well coached. They are hungry. They're trying to get into the playoffs. So it all depends on what Chiefs secondary shows up because I do believe our offenses show up. I do believe it's going to be a good game. But it just depends on what Chiefs secondary shows up. Fuller is out, I believe, and the guy we got from Dallas sucks. So yeah. That's
Hey, Marco said he got $3.66 on it.
That's an odd number, but I'll take it. All right. So not Jay. What is it? Oh, it's time for us to go ahead and slide into a hood topic. And our hood topic is going to be a little bit of NBA talk. So we're going back-to-back sports real quick on you guys.
Yes,
now,
yes.
So boy, your kids going to hate when you hit them, boy.
I'm going to have to erase part of this episode because this all can make it into the court. Like, this is... So...
Boy, you heavy-handed.
So I was listening to a lot of different people talk about the possibilities of Anthony Davis going to the Lakers or going to the Celtics, but everyone, mainly the Lakers, was the topic of conversation because LeBron made the statement of saying it would be, absolutely great if he had the opportunity to play with Anthony Davis, which, people are saying like this is the issue, this is the problem, is that he's a toxic player. He creates a toxic environment, even though LeBron is one of the greats. It brought me back to the statement that KD made that said just as much that LeBron, like the atmosphere playing with LeBron can be toxic. Now, I understand to some degree what context KD was saying it in, but a lot of people are saying that statement was originally made out of jealousy. So this made me want to ask a question about KD. What is it that KD could do both off the court and on the court? Is there anything that he could ever do that he could be seen in a positive light again by both the media and the fan base, the NBA fan base? If he won 7 championships, would he ever be considered an all-time great? If he opened up his own charter school, in several different cities, in Washington, D.C., and all these other different things, is there anything that he could do that could ever erase the stigma of him being a snake? Or
he need to be consistently sincere. We don't know who this brother is, man. KD has put up at least 3 or 4 different KDs since he's been in the NBA. We don't know who he is. Apparently, when he was here, he was fronting the whole time. He was trying to come off like this, good guy, good Christian guy that listens to gospel music before he goes on the court. And, And then we find out once he gets to Oakland that he says, "Oh, I was just fronting." So like, okay, then who's the real you? Is it the you that was here? Is it the you that showed up in the Bay Area, or is it the you now that you know you've won a couple of rings? Now you kind of quiet. Just be consistently sincere, man. Just show us who you really are. I mean, he, I mean, I'm mad enough that he did what he did, but the fact that we don't really know who he is, just, it just to me it taints him totally. We don't really know who this guy is. He just basically is a chameleon. He's a chameleon. That's another big word. He changes with whatever background that he's in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he's in a green room, he changes green, and vice versa.
I feel like his team, they need to teach him on how to talk to the media, because since he's left OKC, like Raw Dawg said, we don't know the real him, because he's put himself in different situations where he said things and he had to backtrack on it, and he's gotten into disagreement with kids on the internet. He's gotten into disagreements, teenagers and all this stuff, and he had burner accounts and all this stuff.
The burner account.
Like to me, I feel like, the only thing that can save him is to stay where he's at and continue to win championships, because we know he's not coming back to OKC. It's not happening. And he's already stated that, he wants to get a max contract, because he's always taking a discount, for all these years. He wants to be the highest paid player. So to me, I feel like, his media team needs to, his PR team needs to teach him how to talk to the media. Because, to me, it's like he's like that kid that, when you take the ball away from him, he runs away from things. And like now, all of a sudden, like the whole thing with Draymond and everything this year, he's kind of like, don't ask me that question. He's trying to like be like a tough guy. Like when he got to OKC and when he got to Golden State, got the Tupac tattoo, the Rick James tattoo, all of that stuff. He tried to be tough, but he's not. Just play basketball and stop talking to the media, because they keep throwing the bait and you keep taking it.
Yeah, so the broader top, the big question, or just to go back to that original question is, so if he really won, let's just say 2 more MVPs, and he really did pull down 6 rings when it's all said and done, whether it's with the Golden State Warriors or he goes and teams up with someone else, if he ends with 6 rings and a few more MVPs, could he ever be in the discussion as one of the greatest players of all time? Legitimately.
He was already on the way to. He's already one of the top 5 scorers of all time. And as much as I hate to say it, if he keeps winning, you have no choice but to, put him in that situation, because think about it. He's putting up 30, 35 points a game, only shooting the ball 13 times. That's something that we haven't seen before. And as far as with the whole thing with LeBron, I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. LeBron, as much as I hate to say it, I agree with what KD said, because LeBron, he's very toxic, and he puts people in situations to where, if you look at it, every coach that he has coached him, with the exception of Eric Spoelstra, has been fired. When they lost those championships in Miami, think about it. If they would have lost one more championship, they probably would have traded Chris Bosh, because he would have been the fall guy. In Cleveland, how many times did they try to trade Kevin Love?
Yeah.
Kevin Love walked into the room and they tried to trade him.
Yeah.
And then now in LA, who is it? Caldwell Pope. They trying to trade him. They saying that, he's the issue right now, and they need to get somebody else in here to help them. Granted, they're the 5th seed in the West right now. They feel like they need to make another move to get another player.
Yeah, and the thing about that is there's a limitation on where you can send Caldwell Pope, because he's on parole. So it's like, I don't even think he can leave. He can't live outside of the state. So I don't know. You remember he played last year with the ankle monitor.
That was Photoshopped, you know it.
He was, but he was on house arrest.
Say, KD will always have an asterisk next to his name.
And that's kind of the bigger point. Like, is that always going to be the narrative with him? Like, is he always going to go down as an individual that, even if he won 6 rings, if the 6 rings was with the Golden State Warriors, and let's just say Steph was absent for one of those, or different pieces were gone. If he goes down and he gets 6, Steph only ends up with 5 or 4 or something of that nature. If he ends up with 6, well, is that 6 with an asterisk, or is that 6 legitimately earned rings? Because a ring is a ring, regardless of how we feel about it. And I think that's the one thing I want to point out is that I think that this is an interesting thing because this young man is talented and he has the potential of doing it. I don't think he will, but the potential is there, and it highlights to me a little bit of hypocrisy within me. Y'all know I'm not like a huge Jordan fan, but on the same token, I wouldn't be willing to say that he's just as good as Jordan just because of the decisions he's made. And like you said, coming from me, not being a huge Jordan fan, it's like I'm just biased. Like for me to even pick, even if he tied all of Jordan's records and was just as good, I'll still be like, nah.
He'll always be that one guy who couldn't lead his team to the NBA and had to go to a team full of superstars.
Yeah,
he's always gonna. That's a decision that he's got to live with. Now, LeBron just got lucky, man, because he could have been known for the rest of his career for the decision.
Yeah,
he could have been known for that.
Well,
and he was able to change that. I don't know how he did it.
And I think one of the key things is he mentioned last week in an interview that one of the turning points of his career was when Dwayne Wade set him down at the end of that first season and told him, you can't do what the media is trying to. You can't wear the black hat. You're a good guy. You need to keep being a good guy, and that's your storyline. Don't let the media pick your storyline. And I think what Wade was to LeBron was pivotal, and I don't think Westbrook was that for Durant. I don't think anyone's ever been that for Durant, and that's the missing piece right there. No one's ever set him down and said, you don't have to be the bad guy, you don't have to be the good guy, you don't have to be anything other than you, and let them accept you. And I think that's one of the big issues with Kevin Durant is, even though he's on a team of all-stars, so to speak, I always question Draymond being an all-star. But even though he's on a team of all-stars,
he's an all-star Chewbacca's. I mean,
Nope.
He's not?
No self-hatred today. No, we will not talk bad about black people today. Nope.
I say black people, I'm talking about him.
No. He's included. He's included.
No. Let it go.
He don't look like Chewbacca to y'all?
No.
Okay.
So, So along the lines of, so we're going to switch into a little bit of current NBA talk, a little less broader of a topic. The Lakers are kind of on a roll, right? So even though they've lost 2 games, if somehow LeBron gets them to the number 1 seed, which I don't think it happened, but if he gets them to the number 1 seed, do you think that's MVP worthy alone of just coming to the West and grabbing, a team like the Lakers and making them a number 1, even if it's just for a brief time?
I think, yeah, it is. I mean, this is what his basically his 3rd team, and I've seen the Lakers play, and they play like they at the gym. I've never seen a play run. If he can take these guys up to number 1, even for a few weeks, that's saying something, man. Because without LeBron, this is not a good team. It just shows you the power of this particular player and why he's one of the most transcendental players that are out there, man. No matter where he goes, he's gonna shine.
So DeMarco, you got to check out last week's Hood topic. We kind of already talked about that, but as far as we're concerned, we know that Bobby Brown is and always will be the true king of R&B. That's something we know. Yes. So,
Jacquees just walk in on you, bro?
No, but something's on the stove I got to get. Hey, so let's go ahead and get into a little bit of Thunder talk. Let's talk about the Thunder while I stop my house from burning down.
Okay.
All right. The Thunder right now, I believe they're 19-10. They beat the Bulls on this past Monday. That game ended, as a fight in the game between, not a fight.
A fight?
No, it was a sissy push. Chris Dunn pushed Russell Westbrook, and they caused Jeremy Grant to kind of like push him out the way, and then Robin Lopez lost his mind. In the midst of all of that, we lost Raymond Felton, Uncle Raymond, and Dennis Schroeder for tonight's game against Sacramento because they left the bench in the game. So now, so we're playing Sacramento for a third time this year. They've beaten us the first 2 times, and so it's going to be a tougher game because we're without our sixth man and our backup point guard. So it's almost like, who's going to play point guard along with Russ tonight? They're going to probably have to switch it up with him and Paul George being the primary ball handlers tonight.
And we've had in the past, remember last year, we had brought in Ferguson and was kind of letting him play a little bit of point guard at the beginning last year. And then before, I don't trust letting him handle the ball too much, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of that. Or some odd deal.
I don't think we're going to win this game, man. We have a matchup problem with the Kings for some reason.
And the Nuggets.
Yeah. Now, the Nuggets are just a legitimately decent team because I was watching the Nuggets game last night, and I'm looking at this team that has 6 players injured, and 4 of them are potential, game changers. I believe Isaiah Thomas, if he comes back this year, actually will be the poison for the Nuggets, but that's just that's just what it is.
I feel sorry for Isaiah, man. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, that team doesn't necessarily – I don't understand that signing, but he's there. So we'll see how that works when he comes back. But, yeah, they've got a lot of their key players injured right now. And so it's scary to think that they're holding down the number 1 spot with, limping. And so it'll be interesting to see how the season pans out because we got Houston making a comeback. All of a sudden Houston's in a position now to where they're starting to look like they're an actual they're going to actually get into the playoffs around that 4 or 5
that's because
seed.
James Harden's stepping in.
James Harden, yeah.
Well, he's
That big game of love.
Yeah, I was say they've traveled a long way.
Moving to the left.
Yeah.
Yep. Side to side. Travel, then shoot it down.
Yeah, man, we ban R. Kelly in all forms. I know it's just we can't take on the legal risk.
You can't talk about R. Kelly. I can't talk about Draymond Green. What's going on, man?
You shouldn't want to talk about it.
It's a new year, sir.
You're taking away all my good material.
Yeah. So overall, man, you guys
You gonna say yeah? Keep talking. Yeah. Shut up. Anyway.
So overall, you guys feeling good about where the Thunder are? Like as far as defense, I think it's excellent. Offense, it still goes back to the same thing. You don't have to be a genius to see this. If you watch the Thunder, you recognize Billy Donovan earned his extension that he got this week. He's coaching pretty well. One thing that's very evident is that as Westbrook matures, we will become a good team. So I'm looking at next year, unfortunately, being the year where Westbrook finally slows down enough to where we might actually be a great team. But that's what it's going to take.
He doesn't shoot as much. I like that. He actually passes more than he shoots now.
I feel like he's hurt. I think he's still hurt.
You think so?
Because he had the surgery and then he hurt his ankle. I feel like he rushed it back, and it's kind of hard to shut somebody right down in the season right now. It's almost like he should have maybe set out a couple of more weeks because they were winning without him, and I feel like he should have just set out a couple of more weeks to give his body some rest and condition himself to get back to 100% because he hasn't. He's had his triple doubles, but the shooting is just not the same. He's just not getting those same shots that he was making last year, and he's horrible at free throws. How do you go from being an 83% free throw shooter to shooting 62% from the field, from the free throw line this season?
Yeah, something's bothering him. This is totally separate, but once you said we should have set him down, it got me to thinking about something that was said that I wanted just to get you guys' reaction. Dwight Howard, who is currently being set down because of his booty injury, and what he said, and this is what they say, and I'm just quoting, Dwight Howard on this. When asked why is he staying in Atlanta,
I know I'm immature. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Drew. I'm sorry.
when he was asked why he's staying in Atlanta to heal from his buttock surgery, he said that the Washington Wizards agreed with the idea that he needed to go home, get his mind right, and be ready, because if he was to actually like to recover while he was around the team, he would get overstimulated and want to get back into it and would want to play. So,
was stimulated.
So, but that wasn't the kicker. At the end of his statement, he said, "So yeah, and then we'll get back to getting after this championship."
What, in Atlanta?
No, he plays for the Wizards.
Oh, he's in Washington now?
Yeah.
I can't keep up with where he is, man. He'd been better off in Atlanta.
No.
Why not?
Or Golden State, don't they? Because they're moving to San Francisco, right?
Yeah, they're moving to San Francisco.
Yeah. I think this is what we all getting at here. Let's just tackle it. Just
booty butt cheeks.
Maybe Miami. I don't know, but
Oh, Dwight, you got booty issues, dog. That's crazy.
So as soon as he heals up, he'll be back to helping them win a championship. And
so it's just one butt cheek, right? That's hurting.
I don't know. I don't
How
know.
did he just hurt this one? Is he twerking out there?
Pause for the cause.
I just wanted to get y'all reaction to that. And that's the best time for us to move into college football talk. Before we get into the picking the main college playoffs, real quick, Raw Dawg. OSU, they gonna win their bowl game?
Who they playing?
You know who they playing. Oh, you don't pay attention to show prep, do you? They playing the Missouri Tigers.
Who?
My Missouri Tigers.
Oh, yeah, they're going to win that game. Want me to give you a score?
Yes.
31-28.
Okay. You're wrong, sir. They're going to lose probably by 17. All right, J-Rock, let's get this.
No, you don't get to just say that and move on.
Yeah, I can. I will.
How's that possible, man?
I've got nothing to back it up. I've hardly watched my Tigers at all this year. All right, J-Rock, what we got with the college playoff, man?
College playoff, we got December 29th. We got Clemson Tigers versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They will be playing in Cowboy Stadium in the first half of the playoff. And then in the nightcap, you got the number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide playing the number 4, the fighting, reigning, defending, 3-time Big 12 champion Oklahoma Sooners, led by Heisman Trophy winner Kyler Murray. Yeah. I'm a little excited for this game,
Yeah.
And you can put this on record. The Sooners will chop down the Crimson Tide next Saturday in Miami, Florida.
What's the score?
I say 38-28. Kyler Murray is taking them to San Francisco for the national championship game, where they will play Clemson and get revenge for the last 2 times that they have lost to Clemson in bowl games, going back to 2014 and 2016.
Yes.
And that's all I got to say about that, Jack.
That was a lot to say, though. Raw Dawg, you care about this?
Huh?
You care about this?
About the OU game?
No, yeah. You got a prediction, or can we just move on?
Hold up. Marco saying I'm making up numbers. Marco, bro, I'm sorry. I work for ESPN. I don't make up numbers, sir.
That's the default. It don't even matter.
Sir.
He could be talking to his accountant. That's what he's going to say. I work for ESPN, sir.
You used to work for ESPN. You don't work there anymore. Come on.
Hey, I'm the plug. Remember that.
Hey, man, I think
it's all love, Marco.
I think OU beating Alabama. That's a tall order, Doc. I believe that's a tall order. I think it's gonna be closer than you think. I think it's gonna come down to overtime. I think it's going to be a field goal. That's what's going to make it different. Now, I don't know
God.
which way it's going to go, but I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be close, man. It's going to be really, really close, Doc. It's going to be one of them games you're going to always remember because you're going to be like, if they just would have got that catch, if Dez would have caught the ball, that's what you're going to be saying about OU. If Dez would have caught the ball.
You lucky this is a Christian podcast. Otherwise,
what?
You opening up sores from 3 years ago. Darn you!
And coming up next, Fred Hammond.
All right, so I don't even. Hey man, I don't even have a way of making an educated guess. I watch no college football.
I want OU to win, but I just think it's gonna be a close game, Doc. I really do. I mean, don't you at least think it's gonna be close? You make it sound like, oh, you're gonna go in there and just dominate Alabama. Alabama, Doc. Do you know who we talking about? Alabama. Perennial champions, man. Come on now. They got grown men in Alabama, dude.
Let's move on.
All right. So, and we got to do this real briefly because we are really running long on time. We said we were going to do like some of our top moments of the year in sports. Let's say I like the Wilder fight that just happened. That was one of my top moments. I was really against Fury. That was a really good fight. To this day. If nothing else came from that was Wilder saying to this day. Like
to this day.
I use it for everything. It doesn't matter. I'm pulling that one out in every argument with my wife.
To this day. Wow. Go ahead, Jay, because I got to think of mine, man.
Paul George re-signing with OKC.
Big moment for
us. He's having an MVP-like season this season. Kyler Murray winning a Heisman Trophy.
I think the Chiefs, and this might be nearsighted, but I really do think that Chiefs-Rams Monday night game was really big because it kind of brought a lot of national attention back to Monday night. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, I'm experiencing my best moment of sports right now because my Bears have awakened from the dead, sir. They awakened from the dead, and I can't. You know what? If we lose the rest of the games from here on out, I'd still be happy because this season's been a vast improvement over what's been out there the past 5, 6, 7 years.
John Gruden's wholesale is the reason why both of your teams are in contention right now.
Well, God bless John Gruden. I've always liked John. Thank you, John. Appreciate it, sir.
Chucky.
I think LeBron going to L.A. was a really big story that was kind of...
Was it really, though? Was it really?
To me, I thought it was kind of a big deal. You know, I knew
everybody
he was going.
seen it coming.
They saw it coming. They saw that coming a mile away, man.
Still a big story. I mean, it's still a big.
It was a big story to ESPN because they love LeBron.
Kaepernick, Nike commercial, and Nathan Peterman sucking for the Buffalo Bills.
He's on the practice squad.
For some reason, everybody's trying to pick him up, and it's making the collusion case for Kaepernick look even better. Because Nathan Peterman keeps getting signed by these teams.
Well, no, they put him on the. They went ahead and re-signed him to the practice squad for the Bills. So.
Oh gosh.
Jesse said, "You better thank Gruden for getting Khalil Mack." Jesse, did you hear what I just said? Did you just hear what I just said, sir?
He didn't.
We thank him.
He didn't. He
obviously didn't. As far as we're concerned, he's one of our coaches. So there you go.
He gonna get a ring if y'all win a ring, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. I think the Serena Williams story, it was kind of a big thing because I like the way she handled it. She was cheated. She went off. She stood her ground. And she was a class act in the fact that she still tried to restore the young lady who beat her. So I think that story, and then she was to turn around and then have that horribly racist comic drawn about her, and she still handled herself well. This was a year that I became even more of a fan of Serena Williams more than anything, even her coming back. So yeah, I got Serena, that story surrounding Serena as being a real big story. From, what was that, the U.S. Open?
Yeah, U.S. Open. Don't forget about Tiger Woods winning this year for the first time in a long time.
I mean,
I
It's
love
like,
what Jesse. Hey, look what Jesse just called Raw Dog.
I mean,
He meant to say sir. He meant to say sir. You gotta. So, yeah, there was a lot of good. I think for me overall, I would have to say this was a good year in boxing.
Jesse, I'm gonna kick your butt.
We need Jesse. We need Jesse.
Yeah, I think this was a really good. Speaking of, we need Jesse. This was a really good year for boxing. I feel like even
this was a good year for boxing. You're right. Now, I saw a UFC fight this past Saturday that was off the chain, man. It was on Fox. I can't remember the guy's name. Jesse probably knows who I'm talking about.
OJ got out this year is what Jesse just said. Noted.
Now, that was last year.
OJ got out last year. Jesse a year behind.
Was it this year or was it last year?
It was last year.
Was it?
Yeah, Jesse a year behind. He don't know.
So
was that this year? No, Jesse, that was last year, bro. All right. You should be wrapping this up, man.
Yeah, it's time for us to go ahead and get out of here. It's now time for our final cut. J-Rock. I'm sorry I didn't get you wiping your neck, man. My bad.
All right. As we close the year out, my students, they're going home for Christmas break. And like I said, this has been a trying time for myself and my coworkers and the place that I work at. We've lost 5 students this year for various reasons. They've lost their lives, ranges from the ages of 17 to 21. And so as the students were leaving today, I tried to shake every one of their hands or give them dap or whatnot and tell them that, 2018 is the past and 2019 is the future, and that we should start building towards our future goals and everything. I had a young lady come to me and said that, it made my day. She's like, I heard that you went to Langston. I didn't know that. I heard that you got 2 degrees from Langston. I didn't know that. I'm very interested in going into Langston University in the fall of next year. Can you help me? And so I just explained to her, I was like, I'm here for you and I'm going to help you. And that just made my day. So as we reflect on 2018, let's look at the goals that we have set for 2019 and how we are going to better ourselves as people and as leaders. And like I say every week, winners win and losers lose. They all find a way to do what they do. It's your boy J-Rock from the Barbershop 918. I love you guys, and I'm out.
Yo, man, it's about time for the holidays, and this is the time where we usually spend time with our families and friends and things like that, man. I just really want all the folks that watch the show, listen to the show, and whatever venue or form that it's in. Just want you guys to really appreciate your peoples while you can, man. Yeah, holidays are a good time to do that. We should be doing that all the time, man. We got to start giving our flowers and our roses to our folks while they're still here. So during this holiday season, man, while we're all off, enjoying Christmas, enjoying New Year's, hey, man, take some time to tell somebody that you love them. You know that somebody in your family is struggling, man. Sometimes all they just need is a phone call. Take time out to think about somebody other than yourself this year, man, and really, really go hard this season on loving one another. With that being said, I'm your boy Raw Dawg. Don't tell God about your big problems. Tell your problems you got a big God. I'm out. Woo-woo.
All right, so for me, I want to tell you guys, I hope you have a blessed year and everything. And I just want to mention that this past year was somewhat of a unique and very trying year, but we all made it through. Like, a lot of us are still here. We've lost a lot of different people. Next year can be great, and next year will be great. It's just up to you. Just remember, I say this every week, but I really want you to just kind of soak it in. Hate honestly cannot drive out hate. Make a decision this year to just walk in love. Make a decision in this next year that's coming to just do everything you can to remove yourself away from hateful situations or away from people who are consistently, negative. Do your best to just affiliate yourself with love and peace and do everything that you can to just bring love into your environment. And remember, hate can't drive out hate. And we love you guys for listening. We thank you for listening to the Barbershop 918. Make sure you check us out at
thebarbershop918.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, Google,
Anchor.
Yeah, Anchor.
Hey man, anywhere that you can find a podcast, you're gonna find us. And if you ain't found us yet, you ain't looking. And if you ain't looking, then you're missing out. Because we are the Barbershop 918. Best sports podcast all around. No doubt. Boom.
My daughter got me this shirt for Christmas. And I got another one that says my heroes come in black. And so it's a line of shirts that a guy makes. You can check them out on the web. It's all about black heroes. And you find them black heroes. And speaking of that, real quick plug, there's a new Miles Morales that's out. Spider-Man. And there's a new Ironheart. So she's not Iron Man now. Riri Williams is just her own individual. So she used to be Iron Man for the past few years. And now she's just herself. So these are two new black characters. Well, Miles Morales is technically Hispanic, and even and my son read it and he loved it. It was about immigration and things of that nature. So it's getting a younger generation involved and being more socially aware of things that are going on.
That's for all you blurs out there. Y'all know who y'all are.
Yeah. So make sure you go to My Heroes Tees and look up some of his stuff. And he's got some pretty cool shirts. So,
all right, y'all. Hey, man, everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll be back in 2019, stronger and better. And we're going to find even more ways to reach out to y'all. Am I right, Drew?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, man.
We out.
I don't know what Jay's doing, so
rubbing his screen. It's weird.